So how do we walk wisely in a world full of chaos? We've looked at several things from the life of Noah already. We saw that Noah walked with God. He talked with God. And the last thing that we see is that Noah, he obeys God. In Genesis chapter 6, verse number 22, it says, thus did Noah according to all that God had commanded him, so did he. And so all the things that he was commanded to do was to go and build the ark, and it's to the specific instructions that God gives. So the key to walking wisely, the third key is that you must obey God. We don't know whether there were boats previous to this time or not. It's very possible that people had used boats previous to this time for transporting goods or, going between places. But even if there was boats, the task that God had given Noah to do was a monumental task and one that took great faith to accomplish, because this would have been like no other boat anybody could have ever seen or known. In fact, in Hebrews chapter 11, verse number 7, it tells us this: by faith, Noah, being warned of God of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemneth the world, and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. So Noah was known to be a man of faith. Could you imagine being told to build a boat on dry land that was probably larger than any other boat that had ever been built? What about having to gather all the food and the supplies that it would take to not only feed your own family, but all of the animals that God told you to bring on the ark? Could you imagine what people were thinking as they saw this man building this boat and gathering all this food? Could you imagine what people said to Noah as he preached to the people of the righteousness of God? In fact, in 2 Peter 2 and verse number 5, it tells us that he was known as a righteous preacher, a preacher of righteousness. But here's the thing: obedience isn't always about understanding. Many times, obedience is stepping out by faith and doing what is asked of you. Sometimes God asks us to do things that makes no logical sense, but he wants to see whether you are willing to follow him. To walk wisely in this world, you need to learn to not only walk with him, talk with him, but obey him, because he's going to ask you to do things that this world will look at you and say, man, you're crazy. You're crazy. Why would you go and do that? For instance, me and my family 2 years ago moved away from everything that we had known for the last 10 years in Georgia, and moved all the way across the country to Nevada. That's crazy. And I even said, God, what are you thinking? But can I tell you something? When we decided that we're going to obey the Lord, man, we've seen God bless us in ways that we could have never imagined. And God has given us a church family that we absolutely love, a community that we absolutely love. Yeah, we miss our family back east, but you know what? We are happy where God has us right here. I hope you have a blessed day. Learn to not only walk with God, talk with God, but obey God. And we'll wrap this up tomorrow. God bless.